Hello, beautiful people of this world. I want to say happy Hip Hop Independence Day. That's what they're calling it these days. You know who it is, man. The one and only Mykell Mathieu, aka Mykell the PG the Sum, with my guy E Lamb. And we are the Misfits, and we thank you guys for tapping in with us on today. What's up, E Lamb?
Yo, you know who it is. It's your guy Elam here. Welcome to the Misfits Live podcast, where we encourage you not to fit in, but find a way to stand out. Yo, today represents a year since hip hop history was changed. We got a lot to talk about. Lakers, Clippers. It's so hard to say goodbye, but both of them sitting at home now. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Kel, what we got on store?
Hey man, we got a lot to talk about. NBA playoffs is going up. Two black journalists here want to talk about the journey of being black journalists. So that's gonna be a fun conversation we're gonna get to. But we got to start off here. You know, we have to give you the LA sports because we are some of your favorite journalists out here in the city. We got to start talking about elimination. We're gonna start with the purple and gold. Elam, what happened? Because everybody came into the series saying Lakers in five. I thought Lakers was gonna win in six. Some people even had to making a run to the conference finals, and some even further than that. But they actually lost in five games to the Minnesota Timberwolves. What went wrong for the Los Angeles Lakers, Eric Lambkins?
You know what? I was one of those idiots that said Ant, House Plant, Gregorian Chant, Kevin Durant, Lakers in five. Little did I know it was gonna be Lakers at home in five. Man, that was a complete travesty, man. We didn't have any type of heart. We didn't play with any type of heart. We didn't have any type of height to combat Rudy Bear and Julius Randle. Oh my gosh,
Man.
Nas Reed. I told you guys Nas Reed was gonna be a problem for us. And of course, my guy, Ant Ant Man Edwards. Listen, it wasn't even close, man. Luca, as you always
Yeah.
refer to him as, was a cone drill, but
Cone
we
drill,
just didn't have
baby.
enough. We didn't play with any heart. We didn't play with any type
No.
of passion. We didn't play with any type of desperation, man. And this is something that, I have consistently got on the Lakers about. But enough about what I think. Kel, how about you?
Yeah, man, it was just tough to watch. You just saw a team that, for one, JJ Redick, you gotta the talk that you talk with, you gotta kind of lower your voice a little bit because you were clearly out coached. One game, you play your entire start lineup the entire second half, not making a sub even when you're up 10, staying with a small lineup when Rudy Gobert was looking like Rudy Abdul Jabbar. It was just him getting coached in circles, and it lets those average fans know that hey, having a rookie coach isn't an easy thing to do and go and knock off a guy who just led his team to the conference finals the year before. Luca is looking like Cone Drill, looking like Nico was right. Like he's in that line of James Harden, where it's like he only can play one type of style of basketball. He doesn't play defense, and it leads to this. You know, you can get hot like they did last year in Dallas and maybe make a finals run, but can you win with Luca being that guy? I'm unsure. And then LeBron James, he just looks too old. But hey, E, we had a conversation here on the show, and I told you a game. I'm gonna take you to April 3rd. It was a Thursday night game, Lakers Warriors. The Warriors won in overtime. And I said it, E. I said that game is what the game that has me nervous because the Warriors were getting to the rim at ease and at will. And they're not a team that's known for doing that. And then you scramble up the team and you get Ant and the Timberwolves, which that's what they do. It was just like destruction from the beginning. I started off, like I said, had the Lakers in six, but I knew it was going to be much tougher than a lot of people think. And man, the T Wolves were like, "Hey, y'all giving us all the motivation we need." They went in and made it happen. Um, I don't know how to explain it. E.
You know what? Um, I don't know if you paid attention, man, but shout out to Rashawn Haylock, friend of the program.
Yeah,
He
so
asked JJ Redick a question. JJ got in his feelings, man. JJ got like super
yeah,
defensive. He asked him, about utilizing his assistant coaches, whether or not he talked to them about playing the five starters or those five that entire second half. And JJ got real defensive, man. What was your take on that?
super. No, see, JJ, from us being there this year, I don't know how he acted towards you, but he was much different than Ty Lue. Maybe because I was around the Clippers a lot more this year. But Ty Lue, I can go and talk to him off the record about some stuff and hoop stuff, and he'll give me a great conversation. With JJ, it was a little harder to get him and to talk to him. It seemed like it's only a certain group will be able to talk to him because I think that would have been a great question away from the mic to be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Um, but the fact Rashawn is like, hey, this is the only way that I can ask this question to you because I don't have a relationship to you. You got to have a better answer than that. Like, I wasn't a fan of his answer. All he had to do was say it was a mistake. Like, I made a mistake. Are his assistant coaches? He said, me and my coaches staff made a mistake. We should have subbed, especially when we were up 10 points. Whether they came back or not, we would have gave our guys a rest to finish strong. But he's a guy that's, damn it, shall I say he's like LeBron almost, to where he's gassed himself up to a level so high that we saw him in pressers where he would give answers like he was this super genius of the game and that he knew exactly how things were going to go. This was a very humbling experience for JJ Redick. And that's how even that moment right there, Elam, was the same situation.
You know what? It's crazy you say that, man, because far too often JJ comes off. I don't have a relationship with him, so I can't. This is just based on the limited interactions that I have with him. JJ comes off
Hmm.
as if he's the smartest person in the room. Dude, I get it.
Hmm.
You went to Duke. You excelled at Duke. However, there are plenty of us in the room that can tell you what the word excogitate means, right? And so uh
I'm not one of them.
uh but just that air of superiority, that air of that hubris, that arrogance that he operates with, man, like you said, it was extremely humbling. And he also mentioned something I thought was extremely like poignant and salient. um Ty Lue, you can catch him by himself. You can catch him in
Mhm.
the bowels of the tunnel and just chop with him. You know what I'm saying? There have
Yep.
definitely been instances where I've seen you talking to him. There have been some one-offs where I've had a few conversations with him. And he's a super personable dude.
Yeah.
There's something that I think a lot of people don't see behind the scenes about both teams that's very tried and true. When you wear
Yeah.
that purple and gold, like being employed by that purple and gold, it gives you an air of superiority, not just in a league, but in this city specifically, where it's
Mhm.
like, I don't have to answer to you. I don't have to do this because I'm blank, right? Whereas with the Clippers, it's more like that east of the 110 mentality where it's like, man, I got to get it out the mud. I got to get it by
Facts.
any means necessary. Um, and with that comes a level of like personableness, you know what I'm saying? Like where it's
Mhm.
easy to talk to and get your ear. So, I thought that was like very, very, very telling.
Yeah, and it was, just an interesting situation, but it was a big learning series for JJ Redick. So let's see how he's going to
Does he
bounce
come back
back.
better? Does he come back better?
He, yeah, I think so. I think this is very humbling. They're going to build a team and roster that's better fit for that team, hopefully. And I think JJ is he's gonna realize I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Like I have to be better at what I do because I was clearly out coached. And we were able to see that, and that's why the Lakers lose 4-1. So with the Lakers, what's next, Elam? Like, what does this offseason look like? Just to give some early predictions to the people. What does the offseason look like for the Lakers if you were in control? That's how we would put it.
Listen, I think there are two things that the Lakers need that they are desperately missing. One is height. height and
Yeah.
athleticism, right? Well,
Hmm.
three things: height and athleticism. So you got to find a defensive rim running big that's able to be an anchor defensively, and can utilize them in a pick and roll that Luka could exploit in with the live game. So
Yep.
personally, why the Lakers signed Alex Lynn still baffles me to this day. Dwight Howard was available, and
Available.
you got
Wow.
some treat. Uh, so somebody like Dwight Howard, maybe, or a person like Dwight Howard. And then another thing, man, the Lakers had no toughness. The Lakers need some dudes from Compton, Watts, Boyle Heights.
The
Uh,
Bronx, Brooklyn.
Man, they need some cats from Memphis.
Man,
Like I would go after a Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis is not going to give you a ton offensively, but he's a 3 and D
toughness.
dude, and
Yeah.
when the going gets tough, Bobby a nut up, and that's what the Lakers
Yeah.
need. They have too many. I hate to say cerebral, finesse, high IQ guys, and not enough
Hmm.
dudes that if we got to walk down the alley at 2 o'clock in the morning, like the type that's like, man, I'm with it.
Yeah. And they got to figure some things out, man. And if it was up to me, I'm gonna hurt some fans out there, some Brown fans especially. It's time to move on. I just think that you cannot win no longer with LeBron James being a top two guy on your team. But if he's on your roster, he's going to be that. Reports are out that he's like, I'm not taking a pay cut. So that means $54 million this year on the books. And for the next 2 years, it's not worth it. It's that perfect time to rebuild. It's that perfect time to a soft rebuild because you do have Luka, even though I'm just, man, after in Dallas, I felt the way about him, and even still, I feel a way about him. But you will hope that JJ Redick, this guy who we expect to be this great young coach, that he can get him right. But they need to start building a team around him, getting shooting, getting athletic guys that are big that can be build a team just like Dallas built for him, pretty much. A team very similar. Go and find that. Maybe Austin Reeves, can he possibly be your number two guy? I'm not sure, but maybe you could check it out. But if they could somehow move off Brown, which is a big axing point, I think that getting to we already traded AD. We already made this move. Um, Palinka and Luca were out having dinner last night. So they're talking about something. But if they can say, let's build this team around you, Luca, and get what you need, if you can move Braun somewhere and get some pieces back before you lose him to retirement and you get nothing at
No.
all, I think that will help the Lakers.
So even after that last series, you willing to trust Austin Reeves as your number two?
I wouldn't be willing to trust him, but if you could trade LeBron and maybe Austin Reeves and get a nice some pieces in return, it would be lovely. But the Lakers might be stuck with having to keep Austin for, another year. So, why not try it? Maybe if he has more space and opportunity and has shooting around and some athletic bigs that you can kind of say, hey, you ain't Kyrie, but we want you to do some Kyrie like things. And, he showed that during the regular season what he can do, but can he do it in the postseason? Let's see if he can take a step forward but right now, man, things are not looking great for purple and gold, Elam. It's looking very sketchy.
So you hear a whole bunch of trade whispers and clamoring about getting Giannis Antetokounmpo to LA.
Woo. But what does
What
that look
what
like?
what world do you see that happening?
I can't see it happening. What are you trading for him? Like what is Milwaukee getting back from the Lakers that they're like, yes, we got this piece that can help us. They might have a chance to get Zion. The Rockets might have a great trade for them with Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, Whitmore, some draft picks. The Lakers just don't have enough because you're paying a 40-year-old guy 40 plus million, and he's trying to make it 54. You just traded for Luca. The Lakers just don't have enough to have Luca, Giannis, and LeBron on the same team. And I don't even think that works anyway. Those are three guys that likes to have the ball in their hands, go downhill. create for others and score. It's just not a great fit. We've been talking about it for years. I don't think Giannis has gotten better as a post player. So I don't even know if you want him next to a Luka Doncic, because what is he going to do differently that he's done in Memphis?
Memphis, Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee, my fault, Milwaukee. So I don't know,
Yeah,
man. Lakers in a tough spot, bro.
I mean, the only way I see this happening is if they pull a okey doke, get LeBron to sign on the dotted line the day he signs before the ink dries up. He's on the plane coming back to LA. They like, hey, you might want to divert to Milwaukee. Like you said, man, I just don't see it happening. But we also didn't see Luka Doncic getting traded to Los Angeles
That's
either.
true.
So we
That's
don't
true.
know the conversations. We're not privy yet to that information. But stay tuned. The Misfits, we will be breaking some news.
Hey, we we gonna be tapped in, let y'all know everything that's going on. Do the Lakers have the balls to trade LeBron James? That's the question. But the Lakers weren't the only team eliminated when it comes to the NBA circles. When it comes to Los Angeles, the Clippers were eliminated. Game seven, they showed up in the fourth quarter. Probably they lose 121-101, losing that series in 7 games. Elam, I was a little right. I said that the Clippers will last longer in the playoffs than the Lakers, and they stayed two more
One
games.
game. One game.
Two
Or two
games.
games. Two games. Two games.
Yeah, 2 games. So shout out to the Clippers for making me right. But other than that, it was a atrocious game seven performance. They did not look like a team that wanted to extend their season. I was kind of embarrassed. I felt bad for Ty Lue watching the game. I'm just like, damn, this guy's really didn't show up for him. Other than Kawhi Leonard, no one really showed up, and it wasn't like Jokic went crazy. I got the stats here. Jokic had 16, 8, and 10 with 5 fouls. Like, no one really went crazy from the Nuggets. It's just the Clippers didn't show up. What did you think about it, Gee?
As much as he talked or everybody commends James Harden for cooking, my dude looked like Ratatouille in game seven, man. He looked like a mouse, bro. He looked like a little rat. 7 points. Now, granted,
Yeah.
he was able to dish it. I want to say 13 assists, but
Yep. They
he's
needed
got a
more.
he's got a history, bro. He's got a history of laying eggs in game sevens. That's who James Harden is. And just like Kobe
Yes.
said, James Harden is not
Can't
somebody that
win.
you want on your team come playoff time. That's cool. It'll fill up, arenas around the league during the regular season, but you can't win playoff basketball with his style of play, man.
Yeah.
I think honestly, man, the Clippers got to find a way to trade him. They got to get something for him, what I'm saying, to pair with Kawhi, because it's not working. The past 4 years, they haven't got out the first round of the playoffs. It's time to
Yeah.
blow it up. I'm glad I'm not a Clipper fan, but most importantly, I'm glad I don't have to hear Clipper fan voices, because
Uh,
I listen, they are
they're about to go
annoying.
crazy. They
Yeah.
were about to go crazy. Um, but yeah, like it's crazy. Just I was writing my little takeaways. Shout out to the Sporting Tribune. Go check out my work, and Elan work as well, covering the Lakers. But with the Clippers, I was takeaways for the games, and I said it after Game 3. Hey, it is going to come down to these guards. It is going to come down to if James and Norman Powell can work. One guy was an all-star, one guy we
Should
felt
have been.
should have been an all-star. Um, and neither of them showed up to work, man. Both of those guys, they combined to score 16 points. You know how many points Russell Westbrook had in the game? 16 points. Like, it's no way that you can expect to win when your guards, who are two of your top 3 to 4 players, don't show up to help your team win. And that's what it came down to. The games they won, they played well. Game six, Norman Powell, 20 plus. James had 21 in the first half, game high 28. Game seven, they just came out like they like maybe the altitude got to them because they looked like a team that wasn't ready to go, and it was embarrassing. Just tapping in with my fellow guys that cover the team this year, and we were shocked. We're like, dang, they really going out like some suckers, and it was bad to see, Elam.
The Clippers gonna clip, man. And you know what I always say, the NBA championship comes down to mid-range. And
Yeah.
neither James nor Norman got to it. You know what I'm saying? They
Yep.
relied too much on threes, Norm corner threes. You know, James was trying to cook from the top of the key, playing a whole bunch of 1-4 out. But I think the Clippers are most effective and efficient and even deadlier, dare I say, when they're getting to the mid range. They rank number
Hmm.
5 in the league during the regular season in terms
Yep.
of numbers of mid range shots taken and made. Their efficiency was, at a pretty high clip, but during the playoffs, it was like Kawhi is the only one getting to the mid range, and I'm glad now that the playoffs is happening because now you're starting to see more styles. Everybody isn't just rim running,
Yeah.
three chucking up threes like Houston today. They was playing with two bigs, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and they went home. But I'm glad the playoffs are starting to show a little more character, some more system, some more
But,
style
but
that makes
like
every team unique.
like we've been saying, man, like it's so different regular season basketball to postseason to where hopefully, which will lead to more exciting basketball for fans out there. Um, these guys realize, hey, I know how we played during the season was able to help us win some games. You know what I'm saying? Like the Rockets helped us win 52 games, but maybe we need to start getting playoff ready. And start doing some stuff that we may do in the playoffs because if when you just focus on that up and down, then the game shifts, it kind of throw you off. And for James, it kind of like that really shook him this postseason. It was like, oh, yo, the refs are letting guys get more physical. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he was getting hit more. It sucks for the Clippers. They didn't really have another primary ball handler. Ben Simmons, his career might be over and done. They thought he was going to come over and help, but he couldn't do it. So it was tough. But at the end of the day, players have to play. Ty Lue and the staff, they coached a great year. It was nothing they could really do in that game because it was just all effort. It was just they were leading 26-21 after the first quarter. You like, okay, the Clippers came and showed up. A 17-0 run in the second quarter pretty much put the game to its end. And it was just bad. And you feel sorry because for Kawhi, 3 of the 6 years the team loses in the first round. Um, they just haven't looked like what we thought they would. And this was the year, that they were actually healthy. They had a healthy squad, and it just didn't happen, man. So it
You, you
sucks
know
for the
what
Clippers.
this tells me and shows me that watching the regular season is a waste of time. I don't need to start following the NBA until playoff times or maybe like 2 weeks before because everybody's doing the same thing. We talk about this all the time in terms of just players missing key time or sitting out games and how that impacts the overall product as a patron, as a fan of the game. So
Hmm.
now, it's like nobody is missing time, nobody can miss time, and they're
Yep.
playing with desperation, right? And this is what I want to see. People showing that they care, people playing, with the chip on their shoulder, people, not necessarily being buddy buddy. I absolutely loved
It's what we used to
Anthony.
see.
Yeah, I absolutely love. Shout out to my guy Juan, man, who captured Anthony Edwards coming out the locker room
Yeah.
saying, Lakers in 5. Like that's what we
Yeah.
need. That's as a fan,
Yeah.
that's what we want. That's what we need. That's what we're looking for. And so if this is what I'm gonna get come playoff time, then that's when I'll start paying
And
attention.
and that's what the Clippers need, man. Like the same way we said Lakers need some dogs, the Clippers need some dogs, some rah-rah, get in your face guys. Like they need some guys because Kawhi is quiet. He ain't really about to get in your face. James is super cool. He ain't really about to do that. But they don't really have those guys that most of these championship teams have those dog players that do the dirty work. But yeah, it was a tough loss. I expected more from the Clippers. I thought that they would win this series, and it just didn't go their way because of guys who didn't step up. Now they move to the off season and trying to figure out, can they possibly make a trade for a big time player? Like, do they have the pieces needed? And it sucks because, hey, for all you guys tapping in, being in the building for a playoff game in the Intuit Dome was like no other this year. I was in the building game 4 for the game winner. That thing was deafening inside of the Intuit Dome. And to me, they won when it came to home court advantage with the crowd. They just couldn't take advantage because hey, I said it. I said game 4, everybody's like, man, what are you talking about? I said, bro, game 4 is a must win for the Clippers. If they lose this game, they're going to lose the series because they will have to win one in Denver, and I don't think they're going to take another one in Denver, and it didn't happen.
You just said something. I wanna elaborate on that a little bit. Are you telling me Intuit is a better home court than Staples?
Hey, they get into it and into it. The crowd was it was crazy. Like it's a lot more people there that you could tell that are die-hard fans compared to, everybody at Staples or this crypto.com arena today. They Everybody is too cute. Everybody chilling. They don't want to put on the shirts. They don't want to do all this stuff. You go to the Clippers game, everybody's locked in even in game 4 when they were getting blown out, any shot, the energy was crazy. They start making their comeback. It was like I'm up there, I'm talking to the guys like, yo, like I know Denver is shaking in their boots because the arena is damn near shaking. But hey, the Nuggets found a way to win that game. They found a way to win the series. So kudos to them. Kudos to Russ because Russ, everybody keep they try to bury him. The Laker fans try to bury him. Clipper fans tried to bury him. He's like, I am yet alive. And he helped close out the Clippers last night. And kudos to him, man. What's next for the Clippers, Elan?
Blow it up. Blow it up.
Blow it
I
up?
think,
Okay.
yeah. And it's hard to really see a path forward for the Clippers. Kawhi another year older. James Harden is another year older. That duo isn't going to work. It can't work. They still have Ty Lue. I think Ty Lue is a top 3, top 5 coach in the league. I just don't think he has the pieces. I don't think he has the ingredients in the cabinet to really make a souffle.
Hmm.
You giving them some cake batter, some salt, and some cookie butter, and asking him to make you a steak, and it's just like, yo, it's only so much you could do.
Facts. And we don't have to go into it too deep, but I think the Clippers they got to figure out something because how that like they couldn't sell out during the regular season, so it was like, what's going on? The playoffs, the fans showed up and show out. But if you give them another team, another year where they like, it's gonna be the same. We're gonna be a top 6 to 8 team, and we ain't gonna really be a championship team. People start losing interest because they are the Clippers. So hopefully they can make something happen. I don't know how deep you want to get into it, Elam. I saw a couple of the games, but it was LA was down bad because it was the Lakers who went down. It was the Clippers, and it was the Los Angeles Kings who also went down to the Oilers. Do you have anything to say about that?
I want to say that's 3 consecutive times in the postseason the Kings have lost to the Oilers. You know what, man? Next season, I'm at games, dude. I got to get invested in these Kings. I went to one hockey game. Shout out to my boy J. Cole and his pops, man. We were over there by the ice, and I'm yelling at the team, break out the
Yeah.
flying V, break out the flying V. Had everybody in my section laughing. The players, they kind of looked over there. I got one dude, I couldn't even tell you his name, but he smiled. Um, but I think they need a little more culture. They need some rambunctious fans. They need some obnoxious fans. That's my problem with LA, man. Like when it comes to
Yeah.
like our fandom, I feel like everybody is far too chill. The only exception is LAFC. Them dudes go up from beginning to end. It don't matter if they up 4 goals or down 4 goals. The 32-82, I think they're called, it's gonna be loud and rambunctious. Like I remember back in the 80s, the 90s, the Forum used to be a raucous environment. And it's just something
Hmm.
now, man. Like you said, everybody's too laid back, everybody's too
Too
chill.
cool.
Like,
That's
and
why.
it's not just basketball. We go
No,
to
yeah.
Rams games,
Hmm.
Charger games. It's far more opposing fans uh in the arena than it is
Hey
anything
Ben,
else.
tell hey producer Ben, be safe because them Dodger fans, they dangerous, man.
Hey,
So you gotta watch
you're
them.
not coming to Dodger Stadium in another team gear. I'll tell you that. If you do, you might not get home.
But man, yeah, with the Kings, it's really a problem when you keep losing to the same team. Like if you lose to different teams, of course you like we gotta fix something, we gotta get stuff right. But the
That's
Oilers are
that's
the
more mentality.
daddy.
That's more mentality.
Yeah, that's
It's a mental block.
mentality. They just not coming out and being dogs and say, all right, we tired of being bullied by this team. We gonna figure it out. So it was just as like I said, it was a sad week in LA. Um, and yeah, Lakers, Clippers, Kings, they go down in the playoffs. And
But we
we
still
had
got
to,
the world champion Dodgers, man. We still got the world champion Dodgers. We got Kelsey
yeah,
Plum in LA. So
yeah,
hopefully, a tenth of the sporting world pays attention to the Sparks. Because as
yeah.
we have said numerous times on this show, the
Mm,
Sparks are definitely a product to go watch, but everybody's attention is getting ready to turn towards baseball. You
yeah.
know, you got the best team again in Los Angeles. Uh Gearing up, for another
The
another
Angels,
title run.
the Angels still coming, my boy. The Angels are still
Yeah, they
coming,
coming
man.
for like the number one pick in the draft.
But but nah, shout out to the Dodgers. They are, doing what they do. Mookie Betts is finally looking like Mookie. He had the scare earlier in the year where his health wasn't the greatest, but now he's finally balling. What's that, 6 straight games with an RBI? Uh Otani's looking like the MVP once again. Just they're dealing with some injuries with pitching though, but they going like you said, they gonna have all the attention. There's no football anytime soon. Lakers and Clippers are out of there. The Sparks they started training camp. Things are starting up for them. First preseason game is Tuesday. Then they're at it the 17th. They open up in Golden State against the Valkyrie. But it's going to be all Dodgers baseball, and so far they're looking good.
Yeah, we'll see. It's still early. We've been playing our B ball, and we the best in the league. I don't want to sound cocky, but Lord knows we get some starting pitching that's able to go past 5-6 innings. It's 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 gonna be it's scary season, man. It's scary hours.
Yeah. So shout out to the Dodgers, shout out Mookie Betts. We always tapping in with our MLB bro. So we're gonna have to get there and cover some Dodgers baseball soon, Elam, so they can see they need some culture over there, and we for sure got that here with the Misfits, baby. But Elam, moving it back to the hardwood, moving away from LA, the NBA playoffs, it is moving on to the second round. Uh, the Cavs and Pacers got it popping. So I want us to give our predictions and see what we agree and disagree. Let's start with the East Coast. We'll start with that series. Indiana picks up a great game 1 victory. They won 5 of 6 against the Cavs, including the regular season, and they pick up that win. Indiana Cavs, who do you got? Pacers or Cavaliers?
You know what? Even though they dropped the first game, I still got to go with Cleveland. I just think the tandem of Evan Mobley and Jared Allen is going to be too much in a 7-game series. Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner. There's only so much that they'll be able to carry. So I got to go with Cleveland in that series.
Hey, after watching this game, knowing the regular season issues that the Pacers gave the Cavs, Shout out to our guy Hines. He said it best. He like this Cavs team might be the 2018 Atlanta Hawks, who had the best record in the East, was looking great, and then they faced off against Braun. And I know there's no Braun on Indiana, but the Pacers got some. They got Siakam, they got Nemhard, Halliburton, Turner, Nesmith. Topping gives you some minutes. Like they have a team that maybe that matchup. I think if the Lakers would have avoided the Timberwolves, they would have ended up finding a way possibly of getting out the first. Maybe if they match it with like the Clippers or something. The same thing can happen here. Like the Cavs just may not have it against the Pacers. So we're going to see. This series is going to 7 either way. I got it as a toss up right now. I can flip a coin like Two-Face and it can land either way. But it is going to be a hell of a series. And the NBA needs this. Like, we need a great series from like teams who aren't the bigger of the markets, just so that's when basketball was at its best. When diehards was watching the Cavs with Craig Elo and those guys, and it led over to you got the Pacers with Reggie Miller and his squad. But it's gonna be a 7-game series. It's gonna go either way. If I had to lean towards somebody, I'm gonna go with the Okie doke. I go with the Pacers getting back to the Eastern Conference Finals. The second series, I love it. Speaking of big markets, Boston, New York, the little rivalry there. The Knicks, they start off going to Boston in game 1 and 2. Who you got? Defending champs are the New York Knicks, Elam.
So in this series, the Elam hate tour goes into full effect. I
Hey,
gotta
hey,
tell
hey,
you,
hey.
bing bong, Knicks go home, man. I keep telling y'all,
Okay.
man, that stinky, ugly, putrid Celtics green, man. I just feel like it's a leprechaun that's loose in the TD Garden, man. They're going to show up. Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Peyton Pritchard. It's gonna be
Yeah.
huge this series. You got Drew Holiday. Listen, dude, and I didn't even include my guy Mega Mind. Listen, he's got something special underneath his yarmulke. Just watch.
Hey, Elam, not so. No, I'm messing with you. It's gonna be Celtics. I got the Celtics. They're gonna win in 6 games. The Knicks they're gonna have to play above average, like all of their guys, for them to beat the Celtics, or injury or something crazy like that to occur, because the Celtics are just built, man. Like you need a guy that can go get buckets in big games late to win. Jalen Brunson did that. He showed it against the Pistons, so they were able to move on. The Celtics got two of those guys, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, and that gives them advantage along to go with Derek White, with Drew Holiday. I'm going to love to see that matchup with Jalen Brunson. You have Porzingis, like they have everything needed to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're going to do exactly that, knocking off the Knicks in 6 games. Let's go, bring it back to the West Side over here. Let's start with this how crazy the West was. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's the number 6 versus number 7 seed. We have Warriors starting off going to the Wolves. Who would have thought the Timberwolves were going to be getting home games to start off in the second round? Nobody would have expected that. But Warriors, Wolves, who you got, E?
Hey, we living in the Steph Curry era. I don't care what nobody says. I'm not voting. I'm not going against Steph. Uh, I know better. I think this is the last hurrah. Uh, for Steph Curry. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires in the next 2 years. I think this is the year, man, that the narrative around Steph Curry changes in terms of this being his era, his name being included in the GOAT conversation. I gotta go. I gotta go with Steph Curry, man. Give me Warriors. Give me Warriors in 7.
Elam. Did you not learn your lesson from watching what the T Wolves did to the Lakers? They won that series without even Ant having an amazing series. He's going to play much better this Warriors series. He's collecting legendary heads and putting them on chains. He got KD out one series, you know what I'm saying? Like he got LeBron out now. Now he's about to go get Steph Curry and add him to his necklace full of legendary heads. The T Wolves are going to find a way to win the series. They have size. They have guys that can get downhill. They're not going to be punked by Draymond with all of his antics. They're going to be wanting that smoke. That matchup between him and Julius Randle is going to be crazy. Ant versus Jimmy Butler. I think McDaniels is going to use his length and try to make it tough on Steph. Like, it's going to be another great, great series. I got this one going 7. The Warriors just won game 7 today. I don't think they win game 7 against the Timberwolves. I got Minnesota getting back to the conference finals, Elam. So
Let's
then we
see.
got, I'm just hoping for some great basketball. I think it will be. The final series, we got the Denver Nuggets, the Warriors. I mean, Denver Nuggets and OKC. Which way you got this going?
Man, listen, the chicken nuggets, the spicy nuggets about to get dunked. OKC, they have had a week to rest. Youngest team in the league, uh, the most talented roster, I think, in the league. I don't think this one is. I got this in the gentleman's suite. Expect Shea to
Wow.
go for 35 plus every game. Jalen Williams, he's getting ready to go off. But Shea Holmgren, man, it's gonna be his coming out party, man. Shea Holmgren is gonna average, I'm gonna say 20-25 against
Okay.
Jokic, man, and he's just gonna outplay him, dude. This right here is gonna be a
Wow.
quick dispatch by OKC, moving forward to the Western Conference Finals.
I'm with you, OKC. I don't think it's going to be that easy. I think the OKC win in 6, but this is going to be the Shea series. This is the series he's going to be like, all y'all saying because he had these numbers in the regular season, y'all think he should be MVP. I'm going to prove to y'all with this series why I'm the MVP. I'm surrounded by my posse. We ready to make a push to try to get to the finals. Like you said, Chet, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Harringstein. He's going to be a great pickup. The way that he's going to be able to play Jokic, and we got my guy Russ. What's the name I gave him? Mystery Box. He's the mystery box from Mario Kart. He gave them a lot of good. Like, he got a lot of red turtle shells this past series. I don't think that's gonna happen this series, but it's gonna be dope for him. He went from playing the Clippers, like, okay, I played what, a year and a half there, 2 years there. Now I get to come over to OKC where it all started from me. So it's gonna be fun to see his interactions with that crowd, but it's gonna be OKC. I just think it's their time and they're gonna make it happen. So there you have it. Remember, you can always hit us up in the comments there. Let us know what you guys think, who you guys have going to the conference finals from the East and the West. We gave our picks. Y'all can always tell Eric he's wrong and I'm right because we know that it's the truth, man.
Listen,
But
man, just like you got to go to Harvard to be a Lupe stand, you got to go to either SC or UCLA to agree with Elam.
hey, so Elam, with us being black journalists, before we move on to the Independence Day of hip hop, us being black journalists, um, we talked about it before. We talk about it a lot actually when we out, um, and just our journey of doing what we do. Us being in the building with some greats and talking to a lot of greats. At the last Laker game, I was able to tap in with Michael
Will
Wilbon,
Vaughn.
and had a great conversation. Mark Spears, every time I see him, I tap in. It's always love. We got relationships with Rob Parker and Chris Broussard and some others as well. Um, I saw, it was a couple weeks ago, I saw a discussion of First Take, and they talk about First Take. It was one of the Morris twins. I think it was Marcus. And he was like, he said the Memphis YNs, and everybody was bashing him, like, bro, what are you talking about? It's not professional, it's not great. And then somebody had a great, great comment because they said, hey, why isn't Stephen A giving opportunities to some up and coming journalists to sit in those seats to make that jump? Where he's just going to get these players who clearly aren't professionals, aren't good at it. Just because you play basketball don't mean you know everything about basketball, because some guys just were physically gifted, but I wanted to talk about that. Like, do you think the OG black journalists aren't doing enough to help pull up the next batch of guys because maybe they're like, hey, I'm still fighting for jobs and opportunities. So maybe y'all need to hold up a little bit. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
You know what? I think what you just said in terms of them trying to hold on to a job is extremely poignant. Um, you don't have enough black owned outlets to where they can put young uh aspiring journalists, on. But looking at Stephen A, like he's a company man. Like he's pushing ESPN because ESPN is pushing checks. They cutting checks for him.
Mm-hmm.
I know Rob Parker, when MLB Bros has given droves of opportunities to young black journalists, yourself, Jay Mart, quite a few people, Nick
Yeah.
Hamilton,
The
um,
Hamilton, yep.
and you get people like Nick. Like Nick is like my big bro in the game. He's constantly hitting me up just check on me, right, to see how I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing. He's always giving me game behind the scenes or how I can improve, where I need to improve, and that's something that you're not going to get. You're not going to get a ton of people cultivating you and helping you, prepare for what's to come. I think a lot of times, man, people see you as competition,
Yeah.
and you know, I, and you and I have this conversation all the time, man. What's for you is for you. You know what I'm saying? What's for you isn't
Mm-hmm.
taking anything off my plate. I think you have a very particular skill set that it's not mine. And to be perfectly honest, where you want to be, I'm not really interested in that, right?
Mm.
And so I think we work well together because it's not competition. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm always trying to encourage you. If I ever have a connection to where I could put you in front of, or
Mm-hmm.
introduce you to somebody like, hey, check out my guy Mykell. Here's his reel. Check out some of his work. I'm always doing that. When I was at SC, hey, Kel, come hop on Talk of Troy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's like
Yep.
any opportunities that I have, like I'm always egalitarian in the sense of like I'm spreading that love around, man. But
Yeah.
everybody's not like that, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I say it all the time, man. Like in a lot of these press conferences, I'm the lone speck of pepper in the sea of salt. And so for me,
Facts.
I feel the onus is on me to represent myself well, to represent the
Mm-hmm.
culture well. But even more so, man, like why I got into this game. Russ
Yeah.
getting popcorn poured on top of his head, and nobody was telling his side of the story. You know what I'm saying? And I like in being in this position, we see how narratives are quickly crafted and shared, right? And now
Mm-hmm.
everybody is pretty much on point saying the same thing, man. There aren't enough people in the game who come from these communities who are able to tell stories with nuance. A lot of times it's literally a polarity, it's black or white. And I think the reading public or the consuming public is done a
Yeah.
disservice when you're not telling the stories with the nuance that's necessary and that's required, man. And so I think for a lot of these dudes, man, like they're antiquated, they're dinosaurs. And so nobody's really engaging with print media, right? Like I had a conversation with Arash Markazi about that. He was like, nah, nobody's just reading trash. But I'm like, man, people
Somebody's
like,
reading.
especially like this TikTok generation, man, like everybody is looking for something quick,
Mm-hmm.
visual that they can see, a couple key points that they can memorize and share with somebody else. And so like everything is going more towards like a audio or a visual medium, right? Which is perfect for me as a storyteller because I feel like I can tell stories with my words and I can tell stories visually. And so that old guard, man, I kind of feel like they're getting pushed out the door, and quite a few of them are grasping for straws.
But for the ones that that has some of the power, because some of them have great relationships that they can possibly be like, hey, like I'm gonna introduce you to this person because I seen your work from meeting you. I see the work ethic. I hear good words about you. I want to bring you in the building just to connect some dots for you. Yeah, maybe I can't get you to at the seat to sit down, but I can connect the dots. And I'm wondering if these OG journalists aren't doing exactly that. Like a lot of them, they like to sit stuck the, like, are these my mentees, or I'm their mentor and stuff like that. But it's like, what other than having a relationship with some of these guys, what does it really look like being somebody's mentor? Because, I feel that the guys have to do more, and they can do more. And I know it's tough because there's so many guys that may be able to help. But man, it's just a tough situation. But I just wanted to talk about that just for a little bit. We can get back to it further to talk about it another time, because time is winding down. But it was just something I wanted to tackle. We're gonna tackle more of
But
that.
real quick, how does that
Yeah,
make you feel? How does that make you feel? The lack of support, man, as a young black
no,
journalist, and especially being who you are, man. How does that
yeah.
make you feel?
I honestly feel that these guys can do. I feel that they can do more because I'm just thinking, like, if I'm to a certain level, what my plan to do is, yeah, maybe I can't grab somebody and like, here, let me get you this job, but I want to get you into a conversation. So there's a lot of people that I connected with, with the Rosh, with Rob Parker, um, different people that I like, hey, man, I can't give you much with that person, but here I'm a create a group text so you can do some introductions and then you take it from there. I feel that these guys can do more, and sometimes I don't know if it's because they know too many people or they're still so deep into working that they like, I'm not even thinking about that. But I do think that they like these guys can do more just to get people in the building to make these acquaintances that they know can help take them to the next level. But that's just my thoughts with that.
You know what?
Um,
I'm stuck because I'm like, okay, should they do more? Like, do they owe that to the next generation? Because I know a lot of these dudes, man. Like when you
if
sit
somebody
down,
help them,
yeah, but a lot of times it wasn't somebody that looked like us, right?
no, of course,
And
yeah,
so,
of course, yeah,
um, I think a lot of times, man, like I sit and like kind of like debate, like, okay, well, what 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 is owed to the culture, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
like what's their responsibility to ensure like the next generation is prepared. But in the same vein, it's just like, yo, nothing is in this world is guaranteed. Nothing is going to get given to you, right? And
facts, yeah,
anything that's given to you, is really going to be short-lived. It's like,
hmm,
okay, what have we earned, right?
yeah,
What have we worked for? And like, one thing that I absolutely love about you, bro, is that like you are going to work, you are going to grind, like you aren't owed anything, you don't approach anything like, hey, I'm here, so help me out.
hmm,
It's like, man, check my tape, check my resume, check, like I'm getting reps up. So it's like I'm here because I've earned that right and I'm looking to go to the next plateau, and I just need a little bit of mentorship. Now,
hmm,
I think that's where a lot of black journalists fall flat. But you and I both know, man, when you sit down, you know, when the cameras aren't on people, man, and you really connect with these individuals, a lot of them would give you some real jewels if you prepare to pick
nah,
them up, and if you
facts,
got your
yep,
your ear open. And for me, man, that's all I'm looking for. Give me the game.
hmm,
You don't got to give me an
yeah,
opportunity. I'll make that
give
myself.
the
Just give
game,
me the
yeah.
game.
Give the game. That's what it's about. But before we get out of here, let's a little fast break. Get through this really quick. So, hey, the talk of social media: 100 men versus one gorilla. Elam, who you going with? Because I think a
Listen,
100 men.
if
You
you
get the
think you
right
beating a
100 men,
gorilla,
you getting at them.
if you think 100 dudes are beating a gorilla, you are stupid. And I'll pay $1,000 to watch 100 dudes try to go at
Hey,
it with a gorilla. I will pay $1,000 to watch
so
that.
you telling me if you give me a military Elam, 100 versions of that man, and he
You're
get
not beating a gorilla. Bro, they
hey,
can lift 4,000 pounds, bro. 4,000. Listen,
if the
that
plan is in place to do it the right way, some people gonna get knocked off, but 100
some,
not
some,
winning, no,
some,
more than some. Maybe it might be 10 winners, but that's all you need in 100
Mykell,
versus
do
one.
you understand how strong and dense their muscles and their bones
No,
are?
of course, yeah, of
There
course.
is no punch that you can land on a gorilla to hurt it. You're not going in with any weapons. You're not going in with any tools. So even if y'all try to bum rush and hold him,
You
listen,
telling
he's
me if I
throwing
got
y'all
Mike
off.
Tyson,
He's got
I
an
got prime
opposable
Mike
thumb, bro.
Tyson?
He can grip. He
Yeah.
listen. He will
Hey,
grab your arm, crush it, just crush it, just him crush it, bro.
hey,
No, no.
remember this. We put them in cages. They don't put us in cages. So that's why I'm going with the mankind on that one. To move on, today, may the fourth be with you. So I just wanted to ask Elam, if you had to pick one character, because I know, like myself, you a Star Wars guy. Who's that one character that really like made you a huge Star Wars fan and kept you locked in all these years?
I know you said one, but I gotta go two, bro. It's
Okay.
Yoda. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Yeah.
little green dude. When I saw him for the
Yeah.
first time, watching him with my pops, I was like, "Oh, who is this?" And how he talked, I was just like, "What?" But it was like the wisdom that he had.
Oh,
I've
straight
always
game.
been drawn towards wisdom, right? And so
Yeah.
Yoda already had me, but dude, I gotta go with the Sith, bro. Darth Vader, bro.
Ooh. Hey,
Bum,
that's
bum, 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 bum,
bum,
bum,
bum,
bum, bum,
bum,
bum.
bum, bum,
James Earl
bum. Yeah.
Jones, you hear that voice, you hear that.
Fact.
Listen, bro.
Ooh.
That had me, bro. Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fanatic. May the fourth be with you. I'm so glad we brought this up today, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
my little green dude and Darth Vader, man. That's Elam right there in the book.
Hey, and it's crazy. I think that's what makes Star Wars so great. I just, as the older I get, I start realizing what makes certain things great, and I think it's the villains. The villains always bring, when you look at Batman, you look at Spider-Man, that's what makes them two of the better superheroes. The
Thanos.
X-Men, they have great superheroes, you know what I'm saying? Like Avengers, Thanos was the talk more than the Avengers. So Darth Vader is a guy, especially when you learn his story from Anakin Skywalker all the way to Darth Vader to his son, his daughter. Like Darth Vader is what really drew me into Star Wars to become a fan. And then I can't even lie, the OG, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love going back to episodes 1, 2, and 3 and seeing Obi-Wan's rise from the Padawan to the master, helping train Anakin to giving game to Luke. Um, and gotta show love to Mace Windu, Plow Koon, all these guys. Like I'll be locked in. Ezra Bridger, like everything Star Wars drop, I'm locked in. I'm a the Clone Wars and Ahsoka, the series was fire. Like I'm locked in. But the two I would say that really was like, hey, I'm tapping into this. It started off with Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, especially in the episodes 1 through 3. I became a huge fan. But before we get out of here, we got to talk about it. We've been saying it, teasing it since the beginning of the show. Happy Hip Hop Independence Day. A year ago at this time, or earlier in the day, Not Like Us was dropped that Saturday after the greatest rap battle of all time. It was a nuclear bomb. It's possibly the greatest diss of all time, one of the biggest hip hop songs
It's the
of
greatest
all
song,
times.
hip hop song of all time.
No, yeah, its impact has been remarkable. I'm just laughing at these Drake stands like academics and Mile and Rory show still up here crying, talking about Drake had the better song, the best rapping song with Family Matters. I don't want to hear none of that. Drake probably had the third or fourth best song in the whole battle because of Euphoria and Not Like Us. Once you heard Not Like Us, it was the beat, it was the West Coast vibe to it, but it was also the bars that he was spitting that had you like, yo, this is crazy. Because like I tell people, I'm like, if Family Matters was so great, Meet the Grounds wouldn't have been able to drown it out. And how great Not Like Us was, Drake came back the next day with a song and nobody cared because it was all Not Like Us. And he has continued to be that since last year. What's up, E?
Man, listen. after Meet the Grams, bro, I was like the Canadian dude, his maple syrup was all over the pavement, bro. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick made Canadian bacon out of that dude. When I would never forget where I was when I heard Not Like Us. I'm at the house posted, chilling. And I remember one of the homies was just like, Kendrick just dropped. And I said, dude, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I look and I see and I listen to it, and it's bum bum bum. Must I run a beat, ho? I was just
Deep, bro.
like, oh my gosh. And then when I heard it, and as you said, man, as you've articulated several times, man, that is a perfect song. It's call and response. It's bars, it's punchlines, it's metaphors, it's similes. It's a history lesson. It's
Yeah.
everything that Black culture, Black
Some
music
vibe.
encapsulates. Man, it's in that song. It's a perfect song, man. And I just remember I couldn't even tell you the song that Drake dropped afterwards because it was completely irrelevant.
Yeah,
Um,
it did. It first
and
of all, it was trash, and it just didn't matter.
it was trash. It didn't matter. It seemed rushed. It fell flat. It was just
Yeah,
like he was talking about, oh, well, if I was a pedophile, I'm too big. I'm too big to be a
I'll be in.
pedophile.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
I'll
bro,
be in
get out of
jail.
here.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and then
dude,
he just made so many mistakes within that battle. First of all, he thought that push-ups was gonna be his Not Like Us. He thought it was gonna be his back-to-back part two. It didn't hit. Kendrick started flooding them with Euphoria, 616. Then you got Meet the Grand. Like it did Not Like Us. It just wasn't enough. And like I said before, that song was just perfect. Like it had everything that you needed to a song. And then what also helped it too was that we hadn't heard Kendrick on nothing like that before. For me, I'll always tell you, man, we need Kendrick on some West Coast type tip because the whole coast needs to get the sound back. And he was able to do that, follow that up with GNX. He gets the Super Bowl, he gets the Gatorade deal, the GNX tour, like everything fell into place for him. And Not Like Us was a nuclear bomb that people are going to be dealing with for the next 10 years. And for all those Drake stands out there crying, man, he's doing too much. He's gassing the song. Go back and listen to how many times Nas performed Ether. Look at Drake. When Back to Back came out, he was playing back to back, doing it at shows. This is part of hip hop. When you have a hit this, you're gonna perform it. I remember Tupac doing Hit 'em Up inside of the House of Blues. Like you go, and it's such a big of a song that you have to play it. And kudos to K Dot, DJ Mustard with the beat. Just that whole battle. I show both of them love. But shout out to Kendrick because he gave us a masterpiece, baby.
it's crazy. It's crazy to me on how everybody's talking about how Kendrick is riding his wave, and it's everywhere. Blah, blah. Are we literally forgetting back to back? That was a
Yeah,
club banger, a club anthem when that dropped.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And
Yeah.
the OV hoes were riding that into oblivion. You know what I'm saying? Dude, just understand your bird brain got plucked, and it's time to move on. Every great has this moment where it's like, man, I gotta bow out. This the new cat. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
got it now. Listen, the
Hmm.
torch, it wasn't passed, it was snatched. This is
Yeah.
Kendrick's era. Kendrick, I don't like, it's not hyperbole. When you look at his discography, he's on an unprecedented tour. Pulitzer Prizes, being discussed at Harvard and
Yeah.
MIT and CLA and
But the crazy part, he
GOAT,
was doing
bro.
that. He was doing that before all of this with To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid. You know what I'm saying? Damn, is how he got the Pulitzer. Like, I just think that people underestimated his greatness, and he took it to another level with Not Like Us. And then now the GNX album with to we're like, oh, he got the bops, he got the West Coast slaps to where it's on commercials and clubs. You go to Target, you can hear some of it being played. Like, Not Like Us was a start of, and I love what Not Like Us did because it brought back three verses on the track, and it brought back lyricism. How many of them trash? mumble rap type guys that you don't even hear it no more
Hear
because
about no more.
people just kind of don't want to hear that.
And you know what else I love about it is that Drake tried to do his old formula, like, oh, let me hop on this real quick and drop and see the type of buzz that it gets. Like that Party Next Door, I think album
Yeah, album, yeah.
trash. You know, it was
Yeah,
like, come on,
I
dude.
only listened to it like twice, and I was like, Nokia, I
I
like.
listened to half of it. I listened to half of it and was like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
Next.
We
Uh
want to hear him rap. I
yeah,
think we want to hear, but like after that battle, that singing and stuff is cool. The hits and stuff,
but
that's
that's
what you
his
do.
lane. And
People
like
want to hear
Kendrick
you
said,
rap though.
I like Drake when he makes, when he's making that target music,
Not Drake with
those
the melodies.
listen, you stay in that lane. This hip hop lane, this culture,
Yeah.
it's not for you. You're not built for it. You're not built for it. You are not like us.
Hey, facts. So shout out to Kendrick giving us a crazy slap. Shout out to him, DJ Mustard Scissor. They are killing it with the GNX tour. It's like everywhere they go, they breaking records. Bro was in the rain. Kendrick said rain ain't stopping me, and him and Scissor and DJ Mustard went at it. So shout out to them. They're doing their thing. And shout out to culture, period. Because here with the Misfits, we are culture. Mykell, Elam, take us out of here, man.
Hey man, you know who it is. The Misfits, the hottest tag team tandem this side of the galaxy. Find a way to stand out. Don't fit in. This is the Misfits podcast. Until next week, that's Mykell the PG. I'm Elam, and we out. Peace.
Peace.